Nope. Well met, Knights of the Order. I'm Mulatto Rants, this is Muscle and Magicka, and you, my friend, just accepted a quest. A wise man once said that the best way to resist a dragon is to never actually fight the dragon in the first place. But if you happen to be in need of dragon bones or dragon scales, or if your follower is a complete moron who's never heard of the word stealth before in her life, there are some things you can do to apply some fire resistance and minimize or maybe even completely negate the damage. Now keep in mind that as I say these things, I'm thinking specifically of temptation as it relates to food and food cravings, because that's what I identify with, at least recently, but really this could apply to any kind of temptation you might face. First things first, understand that the discomfort that you're currently going through is only temporary, and look forward to the good that's on the other side of it. And the reason that I can assume with such confidence that good is on the other side of it is that if you're experiencing any kind of discomfort, chances are it's because you're doing something worthwhile. You're actually progressing in some manner. I mean, if video games have taught us anything, it's that as the monsters get harder and harder, you're probably going in the right direction. I mean, if you've never experienced any kind of struggle, it's probably because either you are not a force worth resisting, or you're not resisting any forces. You're just floating along wherever society or entropy or gravity may take you, and that's a really bad place to be, because generally there are spikes down there. Or sometimes just straight up death, and if you're on your last life, game over. So understand that there is good where you're headed, and the discomfort is only temporary. Maybe you're dieting right now. Look forward to the shreds, and also to the ability to eat more food that you're gonna have once you finish the diet. Maybe you're in the middle of a really heavy squat or an insanely intense cardio session. Look forward to the gains and to the feeling you're gonna have when you're riding home in a seated position. Maybe you're in a really obnoxious class or a complete bull dungeon. Look forward to the tokens you're gonna gain and the gear you're gonna purchase the day after the exam. It's funny, I used to be scared to death of those roller coasters with the steep drops. I didn't mind loop-de-loops, I didn't mind fast acceleration, but the steep drops, I was deathly afraid of. Actually, I'm still afraid of them. I'm just no longer afraid to tell you to jump off a cliff if you try to get me to go on one. Anyway, what I would do as I was sitting next to my sister, my mentally insane sister, she had to be to think that this was a fun and pleasurable experience. What I would do on the ascent is close my eyes and imagine the saved game of Ocarina of Time that I had waiting for me at home, and how much fun I was gonna have exploring the water temple. Yep, that's how much I hate drops. They make the water temple sound like fun. Anyway, before I knew it, the roller coaster was over. Now, obviously, if you're in the middle of a heavy squat, you probably want to be paying attention to what you're doing and focusing, not thinking about video games, but you get the point. Now, the second piece of advice is probably going to sound extremely obvious, but bear with me. I want you to make the right choice, so not eating that pastry that's in front of you because it's going to put you over your calories for the day. Make the right choice just this once, just this one time. Don't worry about the decisions you flubbed yesterday. Don't worry about the decisions you're going to face tomorrow. Just make the right decision one time, in this moment of this hour of this day. Not only because it's going to take you closer to your goal, but also because as humans we are creatures of habit, both physiologically and psychologically. Every time you execute a squat, your body, your central nervous system records and integrates that information. It's called motor learning, such that every time you execute that squat with good form, it becomes easier and easier for you to use that good form the next time you do the squat. Same thing mentally. Every time you make a certain type of mental decision or take a mental action, it becomes more and more likely that you'll make that same type of mental action in the future. On and on and on until eventually it becomes second nature. For example, I have not played World of Warcraft in years, but to this day, I still remember 45082. That's Crusader Strike, Judgment, Consecration, Divine Storm, Exorcism. If you proc the instant cast, if not, skip Exorcism, back to Crusader Strike. The reason that is so deeply etched in my mind is that I went into dungeon after dungeon, fighting battle after battle, executing that same rotation. And if you go into day after day, facing situation after situation, executing your rotation, so sticking to your macros or your meal plan or whatever the case may be that's going to take you towards your goal, eventually it's going to become just as second nature to you as Ret Paladin DPS was to me. Just pray they don't change your rotation in the next patch. Anyway, don't forget to like the video if you gain some experience points, and let me know in the comments section below some of your favorite strategies for fighting temptation. Or for fighting dragons, either one. Until next time, may your pockets be full of gold and may your followers' pockets be full of dragon bones and other heavy stuff. Mulatto Rants, logging out.